All right, viewers, let's get into it. The Jehovah Witness Watchtower Cult series, Deception series, Collapse, the Verification Collapse, episode 19, When You Stop Testing the Claims. In episode 18, I showed how the Watchtower Bible Tract Society became the authority gate by redirecting your trust, conscience and interpretation through the institutionalism, the organisational institutionalism permission. That's theological abuse. And in this episode, I exposed what happened next. The habit of testing claims collapsed. They collapsed your ability to test claims. Now, you didn't stop thinking overnight. You slowly stopped checking. And the deception wins when verification dies. Deception always wins. And you already know this pattern. You've heard the claim, trusted the source, and skipped the test. Verification. Verification collapse happens, viewers, when a person no longer examines whether a claim is true because the approved authority has already spoken, in this case the Watchtower. Once the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society becomes a trusted channel, evidence becomes secondary. Questions become suspicious and acceptance becomes automatic, acceptance of their lie. You don't test the lies anymore. You weren't convinced by proof. You were conditioned by repetition. The Watchtower doesn't convince you by truth or proof. They convince you by repetition. Now, teaching point number 1. Verification collapses when trust moves ahead of examination. The mind no longer approaches a claim with open testing. It approaches the claim already weighted, bent towards acceptance, because the source has been pre-approved by the cult. So now what's happened is you've allowed your mind to become subject to the cult matrix, the cult system. And now you're like a fish just swimming along with the school, just following the tide. You accept the claim before testing it. That's assumption. You're absorbing the deception and you're submitting to the lies. Number 2, you trust the source before checking the evidence, right? Your dependence on lies, your deference from truth, and you comply with the deception. Number 3, you silence doubt before investigation begins. That's suppression, conscious suppression, avoidance of what might be the truth, and inhibition. You've just given into it. And this leads to belief being received instead of confirmed by truth. This is how cults work. This is how, this is even how churches work. They get into these states where if you don't conform to their doctrine, you're going to be shunned. One way or another, you're going to be shunned. It's not just the JWs. Teaching point number 2. The distortion isn't that obedience is made to feel safer than examination. Instead of verification being treated as wisdom, it is framed as danger, pride, rebellion, or spiritual weakness. You make mistakes questioning. You mistake questioning for disloyalty. You treat research as spiritual danger. That's restriction, suppression. You're allowing them to control you. You confuse organizational agreement with biblical truth. You've fused yourself to the lies, you've replaced the truth with the lies, and now you're in captivity to the cult. And this results in a system where accepting the claim feels righteous while testing the claim feels sinful. And that's how they sabotage you. And what you've got to do, you've got to stop. You've just got to stop. And you've got to say to yourself, why am I wrestling against my mind? My mind's alerting me that I'm in shallow water where sharks are. You stop. Stop calling it faith when you're trained not to check. It's not faith. You're being manipulated. Faith can endure examination, viewers. Control requires avoidance of examination because it'll expose the lies. Teaching point number 3, viewers. When a person stops testing claims, the body often learns to react before the mind has time to reason. Questions trigger tension because the system trained the nervous system to associate independent verification with danger. They isolate your... I'll tell you what this is. This is theological serial narcissism. Because what they're doing with you is they're putting your mind into their matrix, their institutionalism. They're putting your mind into that institutionalism and saying anything outside of this is danger. So they've completely conditioned you to believe that their lies are the only thing that's of any reality or value on the planet. It's brilliant how they do it, viewers. You avoid evidence to reduce discomfort. That's relief, numbing, and withdrawal. You return to approval. You return to the approved material to feel safe again. Regulation, dependency, and reassurance that everything's going to be right if you stay in the cult. And the punchline is, viewers, this leaves your body using comfort as proof. If you feel comfortable in the organization, then truth don't matter. That's how they get you. As long as everything's comfortable. And this leaves your body using comfort as proof, even when truth has not been tested. So what you're basically doing is abandoning your ability, your natural perception to find out what the truth is. And that's one of the great journeys of Christianity, to keep looking for the truth. So here's a pattern clarifier. This is the verification collapse pattern. This is how it works. Number 1, the organization is established as trustworthy. Number 2, then its claims are received as spiritually safe. Number 3, then independent checking feels unnecessary. Number 4, then outside evidence feels dangerous. And then number 5, emotional discomfort replaces honest evaluation. And the deception is not only what you believed, it is how your testing process was disabled. And that's what the cult wants. Once your testing process is disabled, you're now in their system. You're now mentally, emotionally, and physically fixed in their system. So you may think you examined the claim when all you did was confirm what the organization had already told you to believe. And the claim you are forbidden to test is the claim controlling you. One of the great, wonderful things of my scholastic theological journey has been the determination to find truth as far as possible. And when you look at these cults and you see how cognitive dissident the members are. We see them down on the streets here and that. You wonder how somebody can get into that state. Well, here's the scenario anyway. A Jehovah Witness hears that a failed prediction was only a misunderstanding by the members, not a doctrinal problem created by the Watchtower. Instead of checking historical publications, which only takes a minute, dates, wording, and responsibility, the believer repeats the organisational explanation. So the mind protects the trusted authority by accepting the safest explanation first. Then truth's no longer tested by evidence. It is filtered through loyalty to the cult. And then the body feels relief when the official explanation is accepted because conflict, fear, and social risk temporarily decrease. See, you're decreasing your pursuit for truth so that you don't suffer loss by punishment of the cult, because that's what they do. This is how narcissism works. They love bomb you, they intrigue you, they fascinate you with what you need to know. And then as you start to investigate what's going on, you begin to feel as you question, a withdrawal. Right? And once you feel that withdrawal, you fear, sorry viewers, you fear that you're going to lose your family. So let's reflect. Which claim did you accept because it was approved, not because you personally tested it? Well, let's do a resistance check. You answer these questions yourself. Are you afraid to examine original Watchtower publications? Number 2. Do you feel guilty when checking outside sources? Number 3. Have you called uncomfortable evidence apostate before reading it? Number 4. Do you defend explanations you have never independently verified? Well, here's a root cause check. This could be the cause of it. Were you trained to fear truth outside the organisation? Is your need for certainty stronger than your willingness to investigate? Are you protecting identity because the evidence feels threatening? Have you confused emotional safety with factual accuracy? Let me ask you this. If the claim is true, why must your investigation be controlled? This is the whole thing, see? If somebody's going to stop you from investigating something in a wholehearted, pure way, then something's wrong, isn't it? That's the first sign that you're in a cult. So let me ask you this. Choose one major Watchtower Bible Tract Society claim you were taught. Write it down. Then write 3 columns. Claim in one column, original source in the next column, and then independent verification in the 3rd column. Do not argue it yet, just test the structure. So you're going to put the claim, you're going to put the original source, and then you're going to put independent verification. You're going to verify these claims. So in closing, viewers, I'm Dr. JW Ayoub, theologist. Like and subscribe to encourage me, comment to educate me, share to help somebody else. And here's a proverb as I come to a close. Better is the person who tests a matter before they build upon it than the fool who trusts a tower, watchtower, because many stand beneath it. For the untested stone breaks under weight, but truth endures the hammer. In closing, viewers, if you keep accepting claims without verification, you remain governed by inherited certainty and controlled by approved explanations. You've been institutionalized. But when you restore the habit of testing, fear losses, truth regains weight, and your conscience begins to stand upright again. Viewers, in episode 20, the next episode, the fear barrier, when investigation felt like rebellion, I'll expose how fear was used to stop honest examination before it could begin. Again, I'm Dr. JW Ayoub, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thanks for coming by. Like, subscribe. I do this for free to encourage me. Comment to educate me. And share to help somebody else. I'll see you in episode 20, the fear barrier, when investigation felt like rebellion. Thanks for coming in. You keep well. Bye for now. Stay